Namaste, welcome everyone. Big family I have in front of me. Thank you. What a wonderful opportunity to meet like this. Already is almost good enough. Thank you, and good to see you all, wherever you may be, in India or anywhere else on this planet. And you know, it is wonderful because seeing each one like this, it matters not where your physical form is located right now. Right now we are simply here. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity. You might see my eyes drifting around like this, but I'm just trying to take it all in. How wonderful. And I better not start calling names, because then the whole satsang will be all names. Some people are joining in. Sometimes I might have these dialogues. You might see on the offside, talking with the team. They're here. And they're saying some people will be joining in as we go. It's good. It's good. So wonderful. Okay. Very good. How can I not be smiling and happy? Who am I looking at? Huh? Who am I looking at? See? So good. So good, so happy. So good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Good. Seeing everybody now. Just very good. Good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I already got hands, these yellow gloves on already. I don't know how we can have, you got pre-prepared questions. What to do. Okay. And, where will I start? Let me start with Prashanti. Yes, you. That's very good. I get some sound. First of all, I just want to check that reception is good in terms of audio for everyone. You can just put a little hand up. We're good. You can hear.
Guruji?
Yeah, it's good. Hi, darling. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is my mother.
I know.
Here to be with the Satsang.
Yes, I can see. Namaste. This is sister, no? As well.
Yes, sister.
Yeah. Very good. Namaste, Ji.
Thank
Very
you
good.
so much.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very good. This is Papa and Mama. Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Namaskar. Whoa, another one there. Very good. Namaste. Yes, darling.
Thanks for I have no prepared questions. I don't have any prepared questions.
You have no questions? My first question has no questions. Is a good sign or not? I'm still very, very happy.
Seeing your presence. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm very happy to see your family there, you see? Yeah.
Same. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
You know, that we all could have your darshan.
Good to see you all. Good. Bless. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay, darling. Thank you. Good. I see some yellow hands. Can I see some real hand? A real hand who will want to speak right now? And real hand. Okay, who is ready there? No? Okay. Let me see now. Who wants to say? Okay, Gautam, can I speak with you for a moment? Hold on, we're just linking you up for sound. Thank you. Okay.
Moojibaba, can you hear me?
I can very clearly hear you.
Moojibaba, it is such a blessing to address you, to see you in person. I wanted to meet you in Rishikesh last 3 years back, but because of some infection, I could not come. So I was very much looking forward to meet you today. If I would have not met you in person, I don't know how I would have reacted, because grace has brought me here in front of you today.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
Baba, I am from right now at Lucknow.
You're in Lucknow?
Master's place.
Yes.
Yes. And I've been pursuing, my life has been through hell from the last 30, 40 years. But one day I found myself in my master's lab Osho. And from there I started my inner spiritual journey 15 years back. And I've been pursuing you and Eckhart and Osho. My humble request to you would be, Moojibaba, that this life we know what we are living in mind. But as you have transcended mind and you are in contentless awareness, what is the taste of life once a person enters this phase?
Yeah.
This could give me little excitement and insight to continue my journey towards knowing.
See. Okay. You want to know what the life is like once one has not only come to a realization of what the self is, what one's true nature is, beyond conceptual clarity, beyond that, experiential realization, no?
Or maybe after what we call as enlightenment. People, our masters and you have now in that you have been enlightened. So what is the life after enlightenment till such time one is in his body?
What's life like? Life is more an internal experience. Of course, it's a good question. Let me try and find the best way of answering that, because, of course, in realizing one's true nature and being more and more established, because, as you may have heard, it's not just a bang on the head and suddenly everything is gone. It might take several bangs, big and little bangs, you can say, no? But what I mean by that is that somehow we also, through, for instance, the exercise of the invitation. I don't know if you've tried this. Have you done the invitation to freedom?
I've been to a lot of meditations.
No. Have you followed my guidance in the invitation to freedom?
Yes, Moojibaba, every day, 1 hour, 1.5 hours I spend in the morning just listening to your guidance on meditations.
No, the specific one called the invitation to freedom. There's a specific guidance.
Okay.
A specific guidance. If you have not done that, I would like that you listen to that. And we may come to that also here, because it's not long. It's profoundly practical. And so that that would be the best answer to your question, is to guide you into that direct experience and confirmation for yourself. Because any number of awakened beings, the testimonies of them, have not necessarily gone very deeply into the very heart of many beings. We may read and say, oh, so that's what happens, and the life is like this. Oh, that's really good. But the whole purpose of sharing such accounts is to invite the seeker into that direct experience themselves. And it's not an experience like other experiences that merely come and go. All experiences come and go. They appear and they disappear. Whatever you perceive, you may call it life in all of its diverse manifestation and aspects. You perceive them this way or that way. They arise and feel a particular way within you, and then they depart. So what happened is, what is the difference between, say, that being so for the regular man also? Because what I'm saying is true for every person. It's just that we have not thought about it. Whatever images, memories, experiences arise within you, within your experiencing field, they come and go. And I often use example, a metaphor, like the clouds passing in the unchanging expanse of what you may call the sky. And I likened the clouds to be like thoughts and feelings, memory, ideas, attachments. Identity also is a mighty cloud. We'll come to that. And that all of these are floating by and are perceived to be arising, playing, departing. That in which they are perceived and which perceive them, that is stable and unchanging. And that is the fundamental nature of every human being. Let's start with human being, okay? So I need to clarify so we understand that we're on the same page of understanding when I say that.
Yes.
When one comes even to and through following the invitation, brings your attention, if you are earnestly following, then you will come to that. That seeing will be very much one with you. It will not be something you have, but it leaves you in the place of that fundamental seeing, where seeing and being, where knowing and being are one. Thereafter, it becomes clear that whatever appears, disappears, including the various forms that the ego identity take, is also becomes visible and phenomenal to this seeing place, which is formless. Okay? Now, if you have come to that seeing, and I'm happy that you ask, because I don't have to answer you with theoretical answers. I can invite you into the discovery of that. You see? And I feel that as many people as are interested ought to try listening to that exercise and participate in it with the intention to take as much, to see as much as it offers to you. And I would deeply recommend that to you, that you follow that, and thereafter, because within that very experiencing and verification, within that, and it won't take long also, this is why I'm so happy to impart that to you, that you come to that direct experiencing for yourself. And thereafter, you'll see that the world did not disappear like bang. The senses are not needed anymore. The mind is not needed anymore. It is not going to be like that. You will see that the senses are functioning. What really has changed is what will happen. What really has changed then is that you were previously experiencing on the basis of personhood. And that's also a mode of consciousness, but it is a very contracted and limited mode of consciousness. When you come into the wider realization of the self, you are seeing in a very different way. I don't want to describe that because at that point I prefer to listen to you. What is your seeing? Thereafter, because some people go, yes, that's it, I've got it. And I say, watch out. You who have got it, you see. Because even here, the sense of the personal self is participating, as it were. Even though you say, I can see now that my person also is a cloud, so far in my life, undetected as being phenomenal, because I have been embracing my personal self as the fact of who I am. And in this seeing, it becomes the fiction, not the fact of who I am, you see. And that's going to make a tremendous change and impact upon your seeing. After this, one will somehow be so inspired, you can use this word for now, that you are fascinated. I don't even want to say fascinated now, because we jump over all of that. You're simply in your natural place, and there's a natural attraction to continue to look, because the mind and the personal sense of self will not just drop away instantly. It will come to check in, and it's not bad that it comes, so that you will keep on having to exercise your discernment to not somehow get pulled back into the into the form of the personal self. So that may take some time, and this is why I say it takes time to recognize and stabilize in the timeless. And it's good news because everything that you perceive is time-bound, which means that even if you found something, the most exquisite discovery, it will not stay with you because it will be perceived to be other than you. What we are ultimately searching for, if you say you wish to discover your true nature, is that which is inseparable, indivisible, imperishable. And that human beings come to know that such a thing is possible, even as an idea at first, and as they explore more deeply, if they are fortunate enough to find someone who can guide them into the direct experience, they come to that verification for themselves. Nobody can verify for you, but they can assist you into that seeing. And that is what is possible here in Satsang. So rather than say what it's like and so on, this is just mind food, you see. So yes, after this, then it's like this and like that. And then very good, Moojibaba said this. And no, I prefer that our interaction, our encounter is deeply practical. So that in that you come first of all to that profound recognition. If I may say something for everyone here, because I like to respond in a way so that everyone can somehow benefit from it. I'm not answering merely a person's question, but I'm responding to the presence and remind you of the presence, which is a stage that you must come to. If we are listening merely on the basis of personhood, whatever I share with you will not last, because the person itself who would get that response itself is not consistent, you see. I've said a lot of things, and if you catch me, you see that I'm actually shrinking down to a certain point. What we may make 100 steps of personal evolution, growing and growing, 100 steps in our journey of evolving. But if you retain the sense of personhood, all your victories are still within the realm of personhood. What I'm speaking is about that in which person and its world is perceived as merely fleeting, transient phenomena. You see, I hope my words are not sounding complicated. I know many of you have been listening, and so far what I've shared with you, it will not be enough. What I'm sharing with you is not enough. You see, you have to be pulled in. Yes. It's okay if you are satisfied merely with an intellectual response that feels, wow, this is much better, I like this. But that will not be it, you see. So at some point, during the course of our time together, it will feel appropriate to engage everyone into that guidance, which will be quite short, just to again reestablish the simplicity that the self is. And even the word simplicity is only for the mind, because in itself it's not just simple or complicated, it's natural. You see? So I hope you stay with us and bear with it, and that you will somehow come to that recognition, along with as many people who are open to that possibility. You see, some I know have here in front of me, but to deepen in, or to stabilize much more profoundly, this today, let's see, at every opportunity I have, it is for this purpose. Okay? Okay, so you stay with us. I'll go to someone else for a moment. I have Shweta. Your hand is up. Yeah. We're coming to you here. We got? Okay. Thank you. Shweta.
Yeah. Namaskar, Moji.
Namaste, darling. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, I'm hearing.
Yeah. So, Muji, when I listened to your invitation to the freedom, this was the first session to it. So most of my questions just fell apart, just like that. Many were answered, but still, just to reinforce things within myself, I have this question that you have shared your experience of enlightenment, that when you met Papaji, I don't remember the sequence, you were in some kind of angry or aggressiveness, and you went away and you sat in near some shop, and somewhere that boom kind of experience happened. So somewhere I would want to know that that aggressiveness, that desperatedness, to know the being, how should we be with it? Like many a times I feel that aggressiveness is what is putting me down. There is a lot of desperateness to see that, to have that darshan within myself. But still, there's so many things which is hanging around, like jealousy, hatred, all these qualities. I see them as a weakness.
Yeah, they don't matter about that. As a matter of fact, when you speak about this situation, this kind of reflux of anger that came up, it was totally unexpected. You understand? I didn't feel like, oh, listen, I'm an aggressive guy. I thought it was quite shanty, actually. You understand? So it's not like you felt, wow, I had all this aggression and Papaji, No, I actually felt that at the time, I actually felt I was pretty accomplished in my own seeing. So I was not expecting, when that came up, I was as much surprised. I don't think Papaji was surprised, though. You see? So it's some reflex that happen when something gets caught in the headlights of the Master's grace. You see? Not expected. So you may be feeling, yes, I just want to clear up a few points. You're moving, yes, cutting some, then whack! It may happen like that. It may not happen like that. I don't want to put a prescription for, how it will happen. You see? It's actually, you must remember that what you are discovering is what you are fundamentally. It's your essential nature. It's not going to be something that you create or the Master is going to give to you. A teacher, an awakened being, can only remove the seeming obstacle. And I say seeming obstacle because our life, even ourself, is a seeming event. It's not. When you come to the realization of your true nature, and I don't want to put these words up in capital letters, like, wow, because the mind loves that, it's like, wow, the big seeing and so on. It's more to do with a sort of timing, maybe. We cannot say it takes this and this and that, and I don't want to burden you with all of that. All of you are already the self. It's a question of being aware of it. I say this because sometimes the mind goes on to some adventure of, wow, yes, I want to do that, and I've had this experience before, and I want to see lights and all. I say, just forget about all of that, because it will just become another kind of distraction. What I call the self is your fundamental nature as pure impersonal awareness. Now, these words are not attractive to the mind or to the person. It deeply loves and is attached to things personal. The impersonal it only turns to when it's in real trouble, when it's running out of moves. Because it closes a gate when you say impersonal and it's formless. It's not attractive to the person or to the mind, you see. Because I think, wow, that's kind of like being nothing and so on, which again is a concept about the truth. It's not the truth. Actually, you in your completeness, it's indescribable, indescribable. And I not want to say fantastic and brilliant. I don't want to use these words. Simply profoundly natural. And somehow some twist in the perspective of looking reveals not something in front of you, not something in front of you, not even something behind you. The whole superstructure of somethingness somehow just jerks into the right perspective somehow. And even, you see, I don't want to speak so much about it because mind is listening, and taking notes. But it's not going to help the mind in this way, you see. And mind is not the enemy of seeing. It is not. It is part of the totality of what is. So this is why I prefer not to speak about it. Because when we speak about something, the mind goes into some groove about it. You see? So all these questions that it wants to put, really, in the seeing, they are totally irrelevant. Doesn't matter what kind of person you think you were before. You are none of those things, actually. However, in the recognition and the realization, I don't even want to say that if you were a bad person, you did bad things, it exempts you from the possibility. Not at all. Your openness is the most important. The openness is the most important. And sometimes, I tell you, you don't even know if you're open. And some people say, I don't know how to be open. I said, don't worry about it. That is what's so good for me in sharing satsang. I am not putting any conditions in front of you to say, oh, listen, you better come. Oh, you must dress in white or something. Or you must, you must be able to this or that. I don't want to put it, because that would really be false. Yourself, even right now, as we are speaking, that which you are will never be out of place. And everything else that you perceive, your thoughts and feelings, projections and desires, all of these are as ephemeral as the clouds that you see above you passing, you see. And you are the one who is witnessing all of these things, but you have not yet placed yourself in that obvious, I say obvious, but it's only going to be obvious when it becomes obvious. And this is the whole point of satsang, isn't it? So I really feel that my time together, before coming here this morning, I actually sat with this and I say, may this day, this opportunity of being together with these beautiful beings in the world, be the most profound. And profound cannot be, conceptually profound. It has to be experientially profound. And that is that's my intention with you. And
so when you said that Papaji was not surprised and you were already accomplished in a certain way.
No, I believed I was. I didn't say I was. I said in my own mind. We believe many things in our own mind. You see, sometimes you feel, what, I've got it. I know what it's about. Sometimes I found some people have come to where I'm living. They have really tried hard. I really want to come and come. Then they come. I had one case. One woman came. She came last night. This morning she was leaving. She's leaving. She said, oh, I've got what it's all about. Oh, I got it. I don't need to stay here. You see, would I believe her? Not at all. What happened is unexpectedly a lot of resistance came up, because we don't know how much resistance energy is playing inside, because you're so accustomed to your way of thinking of yourself, you don't notice it. And most of us are totally blind, both to what we are and to what we believe we are, and what is happening, the energies that are influencing your behavior and your way of perceiving, you see. But in our minds we think, no, I've been there, done that, So this one example I gave of somebody who came here, She came in the evening. The next day she was leaving, packing to go. Come a long way from Germany. Well, Germany not so far, but I mean, you know. But came here and said, no, I don't need to be here because I've got what it's all about. She didn't give me enough time to ask her, what is it all about? She just had to, whoa, she was out of here. And I recognize that because it's the same kind of energy and resistance that came up within my own being in front of Papaji. I was not expecting that. So whatever you're expecting, it's not going to be like that. Okay? As a matter of fact, I can broadly expand my example. Whatever you are expecting in life, it's never going to be like that.
And how will I hold back that restlessness to be there?
Restlessness, if it is identified properly, you will see it does not belong to your place as consciousness. It belongs with the sense of the person you take yourself to be. Once you see this, rather than trying to get the person to control restlessness, you would include them together as one package deal, observable in the consciousness field, which itself is not suffering these kind of things, you see. I'm just wondering if I, because you know I don't like talking about. I get very tired quickly if I talk about, because I know where it's going. It goes straight into mind department. You see, nobody can give you any technique on how to do this, and big fat book on how to do enlightenment. It will not help you. It will not help you. Sometimes it will even make your path more complex sounding. What are we trying to discover? What you're trying to discover. Even the one who is trying to discover something, it's a bit of a bait. It's a bait, you know. Because in the process of discovering, that one gets exchanged. Not changed, become exchanged for the real self. It's a bit of a paradox there. You see, I can't explain that. Can't explain that. Can we run through it right now? I was thinking maybe it's a bit early, but we only have 2 satsangs. I mean, we better get straight in.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you know, because this question you have put now, and I would say we can go, if it's not too early, we can take a little look. It's a simple exercise. I know if everybody's on board, many of you have already participated in that. It's not a trick, it's a simple opening to the seeing that is the most natural but unrecognized within our own being. So I know while looking through the faces I have in front of me, that a good number of you have been making use of the invitation, which is merely like a mirror, you know, it's like a mirror that is reflecting what you are already. It's not that you're going to go into this magic mirror and get something. It's simply reflecting that which is timeless within you, you see? And, yes. So let's put it this way. For those of you who have been using the inquiry, and for those who perhaps are new to it, but the result, if you are earnestly present, will be the same, as a matter of fact. They are not really grades of awakening. What happens is that when we come to that seeing, it's just some become much more deeply established in it, because they persist, because the mind, expect that the mind will keep rocking in and out. But the amazing thing is that this rocking, if you don't identify with it, becomes also something very perceivable and separate from your place of seeing. And it's the place of seeing that is the most important. This is your way home. You see? So, the man who I was talking with also before, I don't remember his name. It's Gautam, Gautam, of course. How can I forget Gautam? Unless he's only in the mind. So Gautam, also you also, let's see if we can look together now also. No, we can do that along with Sweta. Along with Sweta, okay. So it's so simple, so simple. Before we can get into that place of deeper recognition, I will just ask you to cooperate. To what I'm asking is very, very simple guidance. After which, the simple guidance is only to empty the beingness, as it were, the mind and beingness, and very, very simple. To empty it, I'm going to show you how. And after that, when you're empty, I can just ask you some simple questions, so that you can be looking from your right place. Okay? Now, I'm going to take it just on the basis of the two of you have come and asked. Already your approach has been, you want to find out. You want to find out. And if you are not merely wanting to find out as a mental conviction, but as an experiential revelation in you, then we can take a look. And I'm looking to the side of my screen. I see all these yellow hands for a moment. So all the yellow hands, the people behind the yellow hands for a moment, I'll just say, to really make the best use of this opportunity, I'm going to ask you to just leave your questions alone, because there's something very, very intrusive about holding something and an intention in your mind. Because anything that you hold, you say, okay, I must have a question I want to ask Mooji today. So then, in the meantime, whatever I'm saying, I can't get your full attention because you don't want to forget your question, you see. So just for a moment, if your question is true, then it may survive the inquiry with me. Or it may survive simply because it has been an obstacle to your deep listening, and you prioritize the importance of your personal questions, which I'm asking you not to do. If you're really going to make the best use of this simple exercise, I will ask you simply to leave it will come up in my question. And let's begin right there. I'm going to ask you, first of all, simply to just leave aside whatever it is to do with past, memory, and so on, about past and so on. So anything that come up in memory about the past and so on, you're not going to need this. You will not need this anyway if you are searching for freedom. For a moment, you don't need any data from the past. That's what I mean. I'm not saying that you have to go and throw it away somewhere. All I'm asking is that for the short duration of this time that we have now together, that you just leave those things for the moment aside. When we are finished, you can pick them up again. So we are not doing any brutal work. Just saying some very simple thing that is achievable for everyone. So whatever is belonging to past, including up to the very last sentence, last moment, last whatever, just leave that aside for now. And you can do it, you see. It's not difficult. It's the power of your intention and your attention. So everything of past, just leave it. So as anything such as what you have done in your life, how much meditation you have done, where you have traveled to, how many books you have read, how many masters you have seen, who you take yourself to be, just leave these aside for now. Be empty of them. We don't need to do full concentration about that. They just say, I have your attention. I just need to have your attention for a moment. So everything of the past, okay? And then on the other side, everything to do with the future, like your desires, your aspiration, what you'd like to be, or how you love to see the world, what you wish for, like this. So all those thoughts to do with what you intend, what you'd like to become, including even enlightenment. Okay, I say it again, including even enlightenment. So any desire from small to the biggest for a moment, empty the mind of them just for this short time. And as I said before, at the end of the exercise, of course you can go back. You see? So leave them aside for now. Simple enough. Again, anything of past, memories, things that have happened to you, good or bad, all these things, anything about your identity, who you take yourself to be, and all of these things, your record, your history, your biography, just leave aside for now. Just empty the mind of that for a moment, because you will need to do this for the moment with me. And anything to do with the future, your intentions, your aspirations or goals, all your dreams, and so on, just for the moment, just to leave that aside for now. Then we come to present moment. Present moment. So even in the present moment, okay, whatever might be present with you, like, okay, where are we going? Where are we going with this and stuff like this? That also don't engage. Like, okay, what are we going to get out of this exercise? What is Mooji guiding me to do? So don't engage with any thought whatsoever, or memory, or drift off in feelings, because it's been such a habit, you see. Okay? Now, even to come so far as to follow my words inside your heart and to say, yes, from the past, okay, leave that. I won't talk to Mooji today about what has happened to me in the past and how I came on my journey. I don't want to know. It's not important. And in the future, such as, I hope to really wake up so that I can become a teacher, or my children, my family will improve. So all your intentions, even the most noble of intentions, just leave aside for now. And all can do this, I know. All can do it. Leave that aside. And even the present moment, any anticipation, any expectation, such as, yes, I really, I'm really present. What's next? What's next? Leave everything. So really empty, you see. And as you do this, already this is tremendous if you're able to. And I'm not asking you to do something now for a very long time. Just for the duration of this time that I have you here in front of me, leave all your mental intentions, memory, ideas of self, of the world, everything, the news, the blues, everything, just leave everything alone. So, like that. That is already wonderful for me. Now, if you could imagine that everything that was contained within your consciousness, in your being or mind or identity, if everything could be taken out one by one like this, or in heaps taken out, everything that is perceivable, every event was taken out now, there will remain here whatever that is that remains that cannot be taken out, cannot be removed. You're with me. Everything to do with that you could put down in writing or tell by your mouth or with memory, we are leaving that aside. I'm already very pleased that you're able to do that, and you are able to do it. Of the past, of future, and even in the present, not holding any shape or any intention, the highest of which would be, I want to be awake, and so on. So no identity also. Leave that aside for now. And you see, somehow, you're still very, very much present. I can't take out the sense of presence. You're here. Something is here without past or future or concerns about the present. Okay? All these have been left aside. Now you see, there is not a black hole. This is the first thing you come to see. If I remove the past and future and present, then there must only have now black hole. Black hole. Say no, black hole is also something perceivable. You can see that any kind of black hole is also not what's here. You see? Now, I want to, having come to this point with you, I just want to check in with you on something. So I'm just going to ask some simple questions, and you yourself must respond yes or no. So we're not going to talk, we're not going to have a debate. I just want to check in with you. If you have followed me so far, just want to check in. Whatever remains that you have left past and future and present, whatever remain, whatever is here by itself, is it being supported by anything at all? Whatever it is, we're not going to put a name to it. Sometimes I just call it the what is. Whatever is here. Did you create this? You're simply here. You're simply aware. Whatever it is that's here. Is it an object of any sort? No, it's not an object. Not an object. So therefore it has no shape. Does it have any size? Just what is here? Does it have any size at all? Does it have any limits or boundaries beyond which it does not exist anymore? I have to check in with you, see, to see if you're really present with me. See? Yeah. You don't have to speak. You just have to be following. Okay? Whatever is here. Okay? I ask you if it is an object. You say it's not an object. I ask you, does it have any limitations, any boundaries beyond which it does not exist? I'm watching your head. You can simply shake your head or nod if you want. You say, there's no boundaries to it. There's no boundaries to it. Is it merely, is it a mood that you're experiencing or a feeling? Is it a mood or a feeling? No, it's not a mood. Not a mood. May I ask you, can it come and go? Just stay as you are. Don't create. Don't imagine. You're pure looking, pure seeing. Did it arrive? And can it depart? That which you are aware of now. No. No, it cannot. May I ask you, can it fade? That which you are aware of. Look. It's not an object. It has no size. It has no limits. Can it fade? So that at the end of this exercise you say, oh, Muji, it's not here anymore, it's gone away. Or if you had to travel from one place to another place, you say, it was really strong in India, but now that I'm in Mexico, it's not here anymore. Can it be anything like that? No. It cannot. Okay. Very good so far. Very good. May I ask you, that which you are aware of, that whatever is here, can it become sick or depressed in any way? I'll give you a few moments with this. Can it be sick or depressed? You see? See, already I see that you are very present, because you have to be present with this, you see. Somehow you're here. In this space, whatever, of perceiving, I ask you, can it be sick? Can it get depressed? You say, no, it cannot be. And don't drift away. Don't be imagining, because you have already said there's no image to it. Okay? Can it belong to one group of people and not to another group? Is it exclusive in one way, or is it unbound? Yes. Like this. Is there any fear or judgment in it? You see, I can ask you these questions now. Yeah? And you don't have to take time to think. Can it be produced by thought? Can it be affected by thought? I'm looking for your verification, you see. Can it be affected by thought? No. You have already said it's not a mood. It's not a shape. Does it have any weight? Does it have any weight? No. Was it born or created? Look what kind of questions I'm asking you. I don't think the scientists can answer this question. I'm asking you directly now. Did you create it? Was it created? Was it born? And can it die or come to an end? Stay with it, stay where you are, seeing. Can it come to an end? No. Cannot come to an end. Can the mind exist outside of it? Can the play of mind and thought exist independent of it? Can it exist at all without it? May I ask you, if it's possible, I can say like this, are you in a state of hypnosis at the moment? No. Clear, sober seeing. Does it have any opinions or preferences? Does it have any judgments? No. Is it particularly religious or political or any of these type of modes of ways? No. May I ask you, how apart, is there any distance, such as a distance between whatever this is and yourself? How will you get there? Is it some place you can get to or separate from? Is it being perceived through some vision? Are you imagining something? Are you creating anything at all? Is it personal? Then I think I asked you before, was it born? I asked you, can it die or end? Are these outrageous questions to be asking a regular human being? How can they know such thing? So let's just recap. You see, I ask you, is it an object? You say, no, it's not an object. Not an object. I say, is it a mood or a feeling? You say, no, it's not mood, not feeling. I ask, how big is it? Is it so big and it has a boundary beyond which it ends? It's no more. You say, no, it's not like that. I ask you, can it be sick or depressed? You say, no, it cannot be sick or depressed. I said, did it have a beginning? Was it born? Can it die? You say, no, it cannot. It wasn't born. Didn't have a start. Can it end? No, not like that. Then I ask, what else I ask? I said to you, can it fade? Fade. Is it like a nice feeling now? And then I go walking and meet someone and it's gone. It's gone. And if it's gone, where can it go? You said before it's infinite, it has no limits. Can it fade? Can it be lost? Can it be lost? Nobody has ever asked you these kind of questions, nor have you put them to yourself. Can it be lost, you see? No, it cannot be lost. Does it judge? Does it say, these people, they don't deserve me, and this one? Does it have any opinions? Then I ask you what? What does it take to get to it? How much distance between you and it? Is there any such thing? You say, no, there's no distance. Is there anywhere where it is not? Do you need some time to go and research it? So if your responses are, as I'm seeing you indicate, that it's not something that you can touch, or it's not a shape, it's not a mood, it's not a feeling, it was not born, it cannot die. If I ask you, how old is it? Is there some place where it is weak and another place it is strong? And then I ask you, what must you do to reach it? Is it to the left or to the right, or are you near it or far? You say none of those things. So therefore I can summarize that if all these things are as you say, what you are directly experiencing is yourself, what I call the self. It's not an object. Is it male or female? What you are in direct experience of is the self. It's not apart from you, therefore it's your non-dual reality. It is self-aware. Can it be lost? Can it be owned? Does it need something to look after it? Can it suffer? So this I point, this is your true nature. Does it have a reputation? A specific race? Is it a belief system? So, that's it. End of exercise. Try to throw it away. Try to not be aware of it. This is your true place of experiencing. The rest is the play of mind, the sky, the clouds, the passing show of this and thatness is perceived through the body-mind dancing. Personal identity also is perceived here. Can that impact upon this? Can it distort this? To whom does this belong? Who is the owner of this? From here you can see whatever it is that appears within the mind or the body or the world is instantly perceived. And it does not suffer from any impact of any feeling or thought itself. Then I ask you, is it dead? Is it dead? Can you even put it in the category of dead or alive even? It's beyond all interrelated opposites, and yet ever present, constant, effortless, pure, indivisible, unending, beyond all qualities. Is it personal? And where are the responses to these coming from? What is it that is responding to these questions? Is that apart from it? So I say, the exercise, invitation to freedom, is finished. Okay? Can this finish? Did the invitation to freedom give you this? Or simply reveal this as the ever-present constant? Is it a disappointing discovery? Can it be described as having this form or that form? All these things that appear in the space of consciousness, appearing, disappearing, coming and going, and perceived to be coming and going. What do they do to this? Is it boring? Pay attention. Is it boring? Disappointing? Oh my God. Is this what it's all about? Now you are at peace. Are you practicing peace? What technique does it require to be this? And yet, the mind energy will come, the sense of person comes up, and somehow it's as though a personal identity is recreated and plays with time and past and desire and identity and so on, plays out in the presence of this. I gave another simple exercise. Now is good time to do. If I move my hand like this, I move my hand like this. Huh? Okay? Is my awareness moving about like this? The hand is moving, look. Is my awareness moving about? No. Let's add something. My attention is moving about also. My attention is moving. Is my awareness moving? So this awareness itself is ever present. It's not moving about. This, if you follow, this is food for everybody. I would like to know of these hands that are up, how relevant are your questions if you have really paid attention here? What unfinished business? So I'm going to go first of all to, I see one hand up there, still holding hand up there. Sangeeta, you tell me now what you have to tell me now. Mm-hmm.
Baba, thank you.
Yes.
How do I stay in this experience forever?
Okay. I'll answer this straight away.
Out of it.
Yes.
And not come out of it for anything. I don't want to experience anything. Nothing of enlightenment. Nothing I want to experience. I just want to remain in that forever and burn this identity completely. No ashes remain.
Okay. How are you staying in it now?
Right now, I can feel I'm in that. But it happens so that most of the time, in and out of it.
Is there a you? Is there a you independent of it? Slow down, slow down. That which is the discovery. What is discovering it? Is it something other than itself that is discovering it? That which is discovered now, yes. It's a good point. You ask, how can I stay?
I can feel everything happens in that. And that is the stage where everything is happening.
Yes.
But I want to remain in that state forever, permanently.
Okay. So at this moment, are you separate from this state, let's call it? It's two things. Is it? Don't go to your mind too much about this. It is a very important point. It's a very important point being made on both sides now. You say, I want to stay in it. And it's a question I understand. I want to stay in it, don't want to stay in it, you see. So this I that wants to stay in it, the I that wants to stay in it, is different from it. Is true or not? Or is it one with it?
Yes.
Yes, what?
No, I can see there is my identity also.
Yes.
But there is a...
What is seeing identity? Slow down, slow down. This is food for everybody here. What is perceiving identity? Is not identity also like a cloud floating in this space? Identity, because it's a strong word. It's a strong word because identity is what was shaped inside this infinite space. You know, somehow it adopted the body as its home, and this idea I am this person seems very natural to us. I am this person. I've been studying. I'm practicing spirituality. You know, I'm doing this exercise with Muji. And now I see, now I see it. Yes, I see it. How can I stay here? So it's a very important question for everybody. How can I stay here? So I ask you, how are you staying here now? By what sadhana are you staying here now? By what exercise are you staying here? Are you...
You brought me into it right now. I can be there, but I want to be there permanently. I don't want to go out of it.
Yes, you being what? I have time.
That exercise, what we underwent just now.
The exercise is exercise. Yes, exercise. Okay, I call the exercise like a mirror. I sometimes say it's the mirror of God, like this, no? Okay, you said an exercise has been done, and this exercise has been done by yourself being, just try and identify what you mean by yourself now. Slowly we can go.
The identity of me, my name, my body, it is, I can see it there. It is not gone. It is still there. How do I remove that?
Well, why don't you just see it rather than try to remove it? Because the minute you try to remove it, you've taken another identity as a remover of that. Why don't you just see the play of identity, just like the world and everything is appearing in that space? The space itself is not troubled by it, but something has to happen, is that there needs to be a staying with this seeing, staying with it. It's not like you arrived, you know, in Delhi. It's not like a place you arrived in. You see, it's not a place that you went to, because I say it is infinite, isn't it? You say, but you, the sense of myself, I've been doing this exercise, and what did you find? Is it different from you? You said, no. I asked you how much distance to get to it. You said, there's no distance. I conclude, well, actually, this must be your own self. Then you say, but how can I stay here? Have you been able to stay in your person constantly? Is your person a constant?
I didn't understand.
Your sense of your person. You say, how can I stay here? You see, the one who wants to stay here, is this one constant?
No.
No, it keeps changing shape.
The separate self, the identity, what I have about myself, keeps changing.
Yes.
I can see that it...
Yes. What is it that's recognizes the changing? Is that changing?
No. The inner self is not changing.
Yes.
I want to stay there forever.
So if you are the inner self or not?
I am that, but this identity, the separate self, is very torturing.
Yes, that's good. Okay, thank you. So that separate self is going to keep coming into the picture. It's like a function of the mind as person. It comes in, and when it comes in, it has the power to pull out of truth from the infinite the shape of a personal identity. When that personal identity comes into play, it's as though the what you are seeing now is veiled. It appears like this, okay? And then you feel, oh, I've lost it. I need to do this exercise again. I'm so separated. And you see, you're speaking again as your mind, and that's fine for the moment, okay? I'm simply asking you now. You can see that that is a play that happened, but you are able to see that. Yes or no? That the person sense comes and the person sense goes, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you or not see it?
It comes in.
You can see.
I can see that it comes and goes.
Yes. That which sees the coming and the going of the person, is that the same as the person or different from person?
Different.
Yes. And what is that? From where are you seeing the person coming in and going? It's from the same place here. That you must honor by looking and saying, wait a second, all that is appearing in me, thoughts and feelings, imagination, all of these are perceived. They come and they go. I cannot be them, including my personality, because if I was anything that I'm perceiving, including my personality, when it changes or goes, I would also go. But I'm here to witness the coming and going of it. What can I be? So this is your practice, you see, to remember, this illusion keeps happening, this delusion keeps happening, where the old idea of self comes and it pulls attention, and somewhere in that moment, identification happens with it strongly, and in the moment of the identification gets fixed, what I am now seems blurred, like it's gone, a seeming. Each time that is recovered, like, whoa, but that also can be seen. Where are you? In the instant you see, but that's also just a kind of some kind of dream, something happened. I kind of got hypnotized for a moment, and I believed, I'm this again, I'm back into the soup of my person again, and instantly it's recognized, and where are you? Did you travel back to this? So this you are seeing now, I can see from your smiling that you're seeing, you're catching yourself becoming your identity. And that is at the very crux of this exercise, that you have now discovered that which is unchanging. It is not that is saying, but I keep going back into my person. It's some play of Maya that creates this feeling, oh yeah, but I'm now all back in my mind. And that will happen for a while. But more and more, as you confirm your real place, that is called stabilizing in the truth. And as you keep doing this, the tendency to get pulled into or to become hypnotized by the mind flow will lessen and lessen and lessen. And that is called stabilizing in the self.
Thank you. Can you use your grace and help us to overcome this fight with the identity?
It is at your disposal right now. It is with you. The self, the grace of God brought us into this exercise of looking and is with you because it is you until you realize that it is not different from you. This play of duality and personhood has been going on for a long time, maybe lifetimes. But this life is your auspicious opportunity of waking up to that.
Thank you.
You see?
Thank you.
But I am happy that you asked the question, because then the sense, being convinced again that the mind play is more real. I say, no, it is persistent, but that is not evidence of its reality. It's only because of the habit of doing that. Now, that habit is changing. Let your habit be to check it out, you see? Oh, look, but wait a minute, that is also seen. And from where is it being seen? And don't make it into a mental exercise. Your seeing is just your seeing. When you look in the mirror does not give you an opinion. It simply reflects. And in your looking, you're simply seeing. But yes. And in the instant of seeing, the whole thing collapses, you see. The power of it, the influence of it, the delusion, everything collapses in that moment. Okay? Then sometimes the mind goes, how can I stay like this again? And then you pick up that thought and you become the one trying to stay like this again. It's very subtle. But however subtle...
It's very cunning also.
Yes. But can anything be cunning for the self? What does cunning mean for this? Yes, you see, it's very cunning when somehow the possibility of going into identity is still alive in you. It's how it plays like that. And then from one moment, a simple twist, like a reflex, and you're back again into the forest of personhood and struggling and so on. And again, you're reminded, boom, and again, whoa, what was that? You see, more and more this will come. Don't give up and don't be disappointed. You're waking up. That's why it's called awakening. Meaning each time you go into identity, you go to sleep. And we imagine all kinds of things. And then that becomes your reality. Whatever we believe becomes our experience. You believe it into existence and it becomes your experience. But now you have the highest place you're looking from. You see? And so the what I may call the affection for the person, which I'm going to call the affection for the infection, okay? The infection being the personal identity, is being caught more and more. Yeah, catch more and more. You catch it. And as you catch it, in the instant you catch it, what do you have to do? Answer now.
Just watch it without any good or bad judgment.
Yes. Yes. And how long you're going to keep watching it, or you simply clarify this is not true, and then its power is broken. Then it comes again. I also you develop the habit of simply paying attention to yourself. It's not a duality. You may call it self-aware of somehow. But when the mind comes, it gives you the opportunity to exercise your discernment. So don't complain. Oh, the mind has come again, because that itself is playing the mind. Just stay with it, you see. It's the most fruitful of exercises. Stay with it. And as you stay with it, you stabilize in your seeing. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Baba.
Thank you, my love. Thank you. Very good.
I'm so happy that I could attend this meeting today. Thank you. I'm thankful to everybody who organized this.
Yes. Very good. Thank you. So wonderful. So wonderful. Who is you, George? Hello. Hi.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Sir, I wanted to ask that, sir, I feel that feeling of that God or presence.
Slow down. I'm not hearing you so well. You say you have this feeling of what?
Yeah. Sir, that feeling of presence that you say,
yes.
Sir, that has reached this layer, sir, like feeling inside my chest. Sir, but there is a problem, sir. Sir, for last many days, sir, I feel like there is a strong physical boundary beyond which that self can't go.
Yes.
And the thoughts keep on moving in the same pattern and the same repetition.
Okay. Let me address.
Please.
Yeah. You have done the exercise just now, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Has it gone away?
Yeah. Just a bit, but I feel that there is something still like a boundary beyond which
The boundary is created in the mind. The boundary is created in the mind because the mind has been your habit to look, and it will keep on putting something here, and then when you solve it, it goes to here, and then say yeah, get it, and then goes to here, and something is following it, and it is the personal idea you have of yourself that is interacting with the mind and creating these doubts and like this, because from the place of the self, of the pure self, where are there boundaries beyond which it cannot go? It's totally irrelevant question when you are in your seeing. Where is it got to go? I ask also, is it limited? Is it restricted? And the general answer is no, it is not restricted, but maybe your answer was different, I don't know.
So, what you are trying to say is that I should just remain in that present state and not be bothered by what
if you truly remain in that state, then you remain as that state. You cannot remain as in that state in a dualistic achievement. You follow? Because if you say, I want to remain in that state, then you still keep an image, a self-image, as something that is doing something to stay in a state. And that duality will persist. But when you come to the exercise, and I would recommend that you listen again to the invitation, it's freely available online, to follow through with it, and then see if that question that you're putting now can survive in the climate of that seeing. You see, this question come after when you regain personal identity again. Then this question has come, yes, but there seems to be a boundary beyond which it cannot go. And that question has developed a fascination only in your perspective as a person. You see, it's not like it's a fundamental question. It's a question that's coming because of your personal identity. You see, because such thing as some place where it cannot go becomes totally irrelevant in the total seeing. Because without consciousness, without consciousness,
I feel that
you cannot have any act of perceiving. The very functioning of perceiving is impossible without consciousness. In fact, all your life and the life of everyone, everything you see, is only what appears in consciousness itself. You see? And the consciousness in which the world and your own self appears inside that consciousness itself appears also in the waking state. You wake up in the morning, if you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, at 6:59, what was your state? Where was the consciousness? You were not there. When consciousness reappears, coming almost simultaneously with it or soon after is a sense of your personal identity. So it is part of the content and the play of consciousness. Sometimes I call it the theater of consciousness, within which the sense of yourself as a living entity alongside other living entities in a very diverse world, is all contained in that consciousness itself. So whatever you're speaking is some shape taken within the scope of consciousness. Do you follow this? And then also the consciousness itself appears. Consciousness I'm going to call the sense of being, when you come aware that you exist. You see? First you come aware I exist, and this I exist feeling initially is not a person, it is the beingness. And then later it gets trained into becoming a person by identifying with a particular body, a particular kind of kind of race or something, or religion. Then it starts to take on certain qualities. Then it becomes very individualized. And then it takes on the sense of its own personal autonomy. And the soup thickens because of that, meaning that the world becomes much more intimate and personal and diverse in that way. But once you get into that state, it's as though you have forgotten your original harmonious state. And, even after participating in this exercise of seeing, which takes care of all of it, because it takes you, earlier I made an example that we can be making lots of improvement, a lot of transcendence, you're growing many steps, you're taking steps. But if at the end of it, all of them were taken with the identity of personhood, all your achievements remain in the realm of personhood. Whereas what I'm speaking is beyond personhood, in which the entire scope of personhood is perceived, as changeful phenomena, watched from the unchanging. You may all have to listen to this again, this particular point, and slow it down and listen to see that you grasp fully what I'm saying. You see, at a certain point, if you even paid attention to the invitation and stay with it, stay in the glory of that invitation, you see, these questions would completely dissolve by themselves. You don't have to go and kill any question or kill any doubt. If you stay in the height of your consciousness like this, all these other, imperfections will autocorrect by themselves. And how wonderful is it?
Yes, sir. Sir, sometimes I feel that that space is just behind the mind, and we see the mind.
It's not. You can say it is behind the mind, but it's not behind that way. It's behind this way. It's beyond, not that way. It's like it's not behind the mind over there. It's behind the mind, meaning that before the mind even appears, mind appears in it and is perceived in it. It is yourself. The word behind is better than in front. But in the end, both words can be thrown out, if you see what I'm speaking. There's nothing behind it, there's nothing in front of it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I see the hands are growing again. Let me see now. Where we have. Okay, let me go to Nirgun. Nirgun, I can see you. Namaste, my love. Very good.
So, Baba, last couple of months, I'm very happy. I feel like dancing. I feel like getting up in the middle of the night and dancing. And it's not that there are no issues or no problems. They continue. Yeah. The ups and downs continue. The bad moods continue. But somehow I'm able, instead of dwelling in those moods, I'm able to, something moves out from there faster and is in a better space, Baba.
Yes.
The only thing is, it's right now where I am now. It's as if from this moment onwards, the past doesn't exist. There has been no life. Whatever memories I've had of my life till now, the memories are fading away. Sometimes I don't remember issues I don't remember, names I don't remember, events, and I really start wondering if I'm coming down with Alzheimer's or dementia.
Yes, yes. Most people who have come into real seeing will call it Shiva's amnesia. Okay? It's really because when we are in the mode of personhood, a person requires a lot of data to sustain itself. Irrelevant things also, but as you're coming into wholesome seeing, the need to remember and to retain information and data of that type is sieved through. There are some things which you will spontaneously remember, which is in service to the activity of the dynamic consciousness, and others will just thin away in their importance. And something just nicely accepts that. It's part of what happens in the sort of like the shift from person to presence, and then from presence to absoluteness. It's happening very naturally. We're not going anywhere, actually. For the first time, we're not going. The person is on the journey of goings and comings. But in the real seeing, because it is infinitely and everywhere constant and present, it's not a sense of going. There's a stillness in that. And it has no need in that kind of way. But in its dynamic expression to the consciousness, that activity will continue. The world and the diversity is also belongs to it. It plays like that. But you will come to discern the difference between the field of the changeful and the unchanging. And you will stand in the ground of the unchanging and experience the changeful also. That's why they're feeling less significant, less compulsive, less hypnotic. You see, and you say that they are there, they appear, but the gravity of them, the strength of their grip is loosening. Why? Because you are being more and more confirmed in the place of your stable being. You see, it's a natural occurrence.
It's as if nothing matters. And that's a very beautiful place to be.
It's a good place to be. It's not a good place to speak about to people. Because they will not understand that, You've got to be in the experience to understand that, you see. Like sometimes I say, the world does not exist is not a good teaching. It's a great discovery, but it's not a good teaching. It's not for social chit-chat, When I say it doesn't exist, because people hear it from the mind in a very dismissive way. And it's not dismissive in a cynical way. It just means that what was taken to be so profoundly true is seen to be much more insignificant at the place of your deeper seeing. And we are doing that in the very nature of evolution and maturity, is that you're unendingly transcending lower and lower states. Where are we going? We're actually just coming back to rest, because in the ultimate state is you come back to rest. In the personal state, we're coming towards activity and trying to juggle all the things that makes up the personal world. And only when we suffer it, actually, we tend to transcend, because you get the motivation to come out of the web, or the net of personhood, you see. Paramatman takes care of everything, from the smallest to the biggest thing. The self, the God self, is taking care of everything. The more we go into the kind of autonomy and of personal identity, the more we become into the forest of confusion, actually, I would say. We try as much as we can to put order to that climate. It's very disorderly. And as you're coming more into the unitive seeing, as is, I'm using words now, which a little while ago were completely redundant, unnecessary, in the place of the is, and you see that in the place of the what is, you were not paralyzed. Activities can move and so on, but they move without dragging a self behind them. Their flow are very spontaneous. outpouring and flowing. And they are grace-filled also. So I say this to remove from the minds of people who tend to feel that they turn the mind into an enemy. Actually, at some point, you'll see the wisdom of why mind plays, because without, like I say, the mind, the psychological mind, cannot intimidate the true self. It can only intimidate the idea we're holding on to of who we are, which is unstable. So this is why it was so important to guide into the place of the Supreme Being. You see? And it's not that, oh, we don't care, the mind doesn't exist. It's not a cynicism, but more not only a relief also, but a release from all these complexities that happen when we go into personal identity, you see.
The only thing is that when the day starts and the activities of the day start, there is a feeling that I'm not aware of being aware.
Yes.
And then the mind plays the trick that this is an indication that I'm not there yet.
Yes.
So
that's when the mind gains its loudest voice, like this, you see. But even if you step aside for a minute or two, go to the bathroom and center yourself in that seeing again, it's fine. You can do this, you know. And in a way, the mind attacks in an authentic seeker. The mind attacks becomes, sort of like encouragements for self-inquiry and for checking in again, and to stabilize into your seeing again. And we should not give up. In a sense, we have a saying that because you're in your last life, sort of thing, and then whatever is left to explode is going to keep exploding now for now. But no, don't make a big deal of it. Just stay in the place of your seeing, and don't close your eyes and shut down your senses. No, be very present. They are not an offense when you are standing in your oneness. You see, and more you find that you're able to navigate, so to speak, through the different situations, because you don't have to procrastinate and project too far. You're just very present. When we use the mind, we tend to speculate and project ahead of ourselves, and you come out of the synchronicity, the natural harmony field of that, the self, which is the prevailing power. If you go back to projecting too far, we slip into the mindset, and that cannot guarantee anything at all, apart from more instability in some way. And whatever your job may be, if you are centered in your seeing, it will find a way, because there's nothing that exists outside of the jurisdiction of the total self.
Yes. It's like magic. Certain things just fall in place, and certain very beautiful things start happening, and it's just like pure sheer magic.
Actually, there's nothing that can compare. No amount of planning, no amount of skill can compare with a life that unfolds spontaneously through grace. And by grace, I mean when you have acknowledged your true place and you're functioning from, or not even the functioning is happening and being perceived from your true place. You see, as I said again, you cannot put a day together, you cannot plan a day that can compare with what is unfolding spontaneously in the presence of the awakened mind, or the true self. It's just joy. God never makes any mistake. He doesn't get anything wrong. The mistakes are in the department of the mind and person. Everything that happens, bitter or sweet, you turn to your advantage. This is the nature of wisdom. You see it as somehow something keeps evolving, something keeps maturing within a background of unchanging awareness. It's a kind of paradox. But you who know it and see it, you see, yes, it's. How can you explain this? As the fruit of your exercise disappeared, as the fruit of your exercise, I'm looking at everyone, as the fruit of your seeing, as it thinned out, as I said before, as it faded, If we go to the mind, somehow some subtle kind of nausea comes in, and you start to feel, oh no, I think I've lost it, and I think I've got to get back. And you came back into your I person. You see? The I person doesn't really exist. We imagine him back into existence. Again, when you look and see, but everything that you are perceiving, everything that comes up in the field of the mind and consciousness is phenomenal, and nothing here is stable. Nor is the one who is personal perceiving anything stable. So include that one in the field of the total phenomena. And you'll see that all of this shows up in this space of being. And you don't have to talk about this. Nobody's been asked to produce some thesis about it. You just stay in your seeing. It is so sublimely natural, But because we are used to efforting and so used to personal identity, which by itself is somehow addicted to effort and to projecting situations and trying by effort to make them come true, to fulfill its projection, we are encountering constantly this struggle. And that's also within the play of consciousness. We all go through stages. We're all growing through those stages, you see. Growing back to what? To rest. You're coming to rest. The ultimate is not the most complex. Like everything is happening spontaneously out of the no-thingness. These are not words for the mind, by the way. What was good about the exercise is in that following it and coming to the direct experience. You see, the mind cannot hold its opinions there. It's so totally, ineffably indefinable. You're not frozen into some state. The question may ask, how can I get back to that? The very question itself is the problem. But, how can I get back? Who is asking this question even? The question and the one who is, the question and the questioner are both phenomena appearing in the unchanging awareness that you are. Awareness doesn't leave, it cannot go, it doesn't have a part-time job, it doesn't have a job, it's always a constant field within which life manifests and is perceived.
Something was hiding for many months from you. There's no need for that anymore.
Yes. Hiding from me in this sense is a bit hiding from oneself, because I have no separate place to be apart from what you are, totally. And that's what makes it uncomfortable, because sometimes when you meet someone, like I did with Papaji, and it happens with others as well too, sometimes some discomfort comes, whatever is hidden comes up. And the part of ourself which is still surviving in personhood don't like that. So it reacts, and then because we are so accustomed to identifying with that state of personhood, we take it as that reaction is what you are having yourself. And so you swap your true nature for this, very opinionated identity, like that. It takes time to catch it, because it's been at its game for a long time. But so profound is the seeing, so all-encompassing and complete, that you can see why perhaps in the game called life and so on, why the mind, if it was given a characteristic, is the one that's trying to distract you from discovering the self. And at a certain point, I don't feel that it's also a part of the self's tool. Also, it's part of its game. Also, not easy to understand. Thank you, Negun. Thank you. I'll go to. We are coming now beyond our time scope here. Let me just ask Michael. I see Michael has his hand up, and I'll see what he has to say for me. Thank you, Negun. Hope to talk to you soon again.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
How can we increase earnestness? If earnestness is the engine of our seeking,
yes.
How can we increase our earnestness?
You know, if you fall in love with someone, you know, do you require anyone to remind you to remember your beloved? When you have tasted the fruit of your seeing, you are automatically encouraged to seek further, even though the mind, by habit, appears to try to play this play of distraction, and so on. And actually, it's good in life that sometimes we are given certain struggles, because in struggling and coming out of them, you develop the spiritual muscle that's necessary. It's a part of our mind is expressing, like, you know, as though we are entitled to this. Yeah, why should it be so difficult? No, like this. But actually, out of your own endeavor, you grow and you appreciate also. I once came into among some of my students, and I said to them one morning, you know, if I have some pills here. If you just take one of these with a glass of orange juice or some milk, you know, in 10 minutes you wake up, okay? Out of into perfect awakening, okay? You can either take one of these tablets, or you can continue with the exercise I've given, and this way you experience your transcendence. Who is up for the pill? And a few hands went up. Yeah, hey, I want the pill, please. Yeah, please give 2 also I can take. They would, of course, a part of the mind would love to have give it the easy way. But I thought the exercise, this invitation to freedom, I feel it is the easy way. You know, if things come too easy for the mind, you give it no value, actually, and we must value that above all things. And you grow into valuing it, because by nature the person is very, very rough, you know. And they're very requiring and demanding and quick to be dissatisfied and so on. So actually, when it's as though God put a bit of nectar on the tongue, the nectar of your own being, and then we say all the beings there go crazy for this nectar, this amrit. You see, and so as you really experience the completeness of being. You know, you have the darshan of that seeing, then somehow your appetite is whetted, you know, that you want more. But of course, you have to go against the stream of the mind that comes up like a roaring lion, you know, to kind of divert your attention, distract. And sometimes people experience, you know, since going on the path, things have become, my mind is even worse than before. So it gets bad before it gets good. Sometimes you go to hell before you go to heaven. But so much everything is on your side. You know, we sometimes don't realize how much impurities, maybe you can put in a way, we have imbibed, until you're coming out of that state into a higher state, and you can look back and say, "Wow, I didn't realize there was so much tension and so much fear within me." You see, so it is a kind of growing, a kind of growth. Deepening in your appreciation, valuing yourself above the non-self, you know, more and more. And as you go, the more committed you feel, then the greater the boon, you know. It's like that. So when people ask, how can I increase and so and so and so, I say, be careful that this question doesn't come just from your mind. And you see, because the mind wants techniques, you know, how can I do this and should I do this and do this? But I don't trust those techniques, you know. I mean, just now we did the exercise of the invitation, and you see, what was the strain in that? What was you see, Yeah. Where was the earnestness for that? It's already in you. Oh. It's in everyone. It's in us to be the fullest we can be of who we truly are. Although we don't know what that is, we just have a sense of it. It's already there, and it only has to be, somehow tickled. And somehow you taste it, and it says in the Bible, "Taste and see that the Lord is good." It means that, is not just through being told only. It might start there, but at some point you taste the nectar of your own nature. And then something begins to wake up to that. It wants more. It wants to be fully this. As someone said earlier, how can I just be this and don't go back to my person? That's a very elevated and a very evolved request, and a response to having tasted the fullness of what you are. And isn't it a wonderful news and discovery that you're not discovering something different from what you are? You are self-tasting. Because the mind is like, we say, we want to taste the honey, you don't want to be the honey. But in this journey of self-discovery, you are tasting the honey, and you are the honey also. Thank you. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you for this. I feel it's been a very fruitful day. I feel very happy that we, in this short time or so, I feel that we have pretty much covered the ground, and I'm very happy for that, because I don't want to give you, 7 steps to awakening and, 32 steps to self-realization. I don't like this, because what is clear is that what we are searching to find is already within ourselves. As St. Francis of Assisi said, what you are searching for is already where you're searching from. That was, first I heard that, I thought, I didn't get it immediately, but I knew there was something to it that was very profound. But when I reflected on it, I saw that's exactly what we are searching for, what we are journeying towards, is where we are journeying from. Before you take the first step to a journey, where you're trying to get to is already where you are. But we are not yet somehow willing to accept this or able to accept this. And so the journey comes into play. And it's God's journey, you can put like that. So thank you for your attention and your company. The company of presence is the most wonderful company. And love you. Isn't it wonderful that on a single encounter or opportunity like this, we are plunged into the heart of awareness itself. And of course, this is also due to the many of you who have been making use of the invitation and seeing the fruits of it, that you are the fruit, you are the practicing, you are the fruit itself, and the taster of it, of the fruit, all one thing. And I want you to, we are going to sit for just a couple of moments together now. And I simply want now again, just let go of questions and stuff. And pay attention to what is here now. You don't need any visualization for that. You don't need any imagination, any effort. This is the power of pure seeing. It's not giving you data to remember. It takes you completely into your unchanging place. We didn't travel anywhere. Simply in letting go of all the efforts prescribed and subscribed by the mind, one finds oneself simply here. We don't have a pile of information, just washed clean from the noise of personhood, from the poison of personhood, I can say, in a way, and yet at the same time nothing to curse, Maybe the adventure of self-discovery, I don't know what word we can use. I'm actually running out of words about these things. What is really here, you see? Did we create something? I told you nothing to create, nothing to even change or to become. Maybe a kind of unbecome, I don't know. But just in the light of your pure seeing. Of course, from time to time, mind will suggest a few things to do and remind you, look, you're almost there, like this. And we may purchase this idea. And in purchasing the idea that you're almost there, you find yourself separated. And I'm not saying this glibly. This is not, a statement I want to release to the world, because people have to be somehow ready to look with this, to look at this. Sometimes it's important to not to keep running away from the mind somehow, but you can listen to what he has to say without logging in. When we log in, and then somehow we are sucked into strongly into the game of duality. Duality is not a bad word. There cannot be any experience without duality. But all that manifests in the realm of duality is perceivable effortlessly when you're not identified with personhood. You can see that. And if you don't speak about it too quickly and don't be too much hurry and excited to speak about it, then others that you encounter also you may transmit something to them in a very graceful way, not always by word of mouth. Because words are many, we can speak so many things, but to be in the presence of one who is at peace, who is grounded in the heart, is a rarity in our time. And I'm not saying anybody should go out to demonstrate any of these things. Don't demonstrate anything at all. Simply be in this, move in this, and you see that it takes care of. You see, when I say life takes care of life, only when you are established again in your original nature, which is here now, which is here. Ever present. Beyond the concept of here and now even. It simply is the most natural thing. I think our journey in life, this has been the highest evolution of the human consciousness is to awaken to this sublime and the unchanging. The unchanging. See, I'm using a word unchanging, which I said earlier, is not attractive to the personal mind, because it will not understand words like unchanging and timeless, limitless. But your heart knows. I'll just take a minute to sit with you if I have this privilege. Thank you.
शिवं शान्तम् अद्वैतमानन्दरूपम् श्रीगुरुं नमामि। शिवं शान्तम् अद्वैतमानन्दरूपम् श्रीगुरुं नमामि। अच्युतानन्द गोविन्दम् सच्चिदानन्दरूपम् श्रीगुरुं नमामि। अच्युतानन्द श्रीगुरुं नमामि। निर्विकल्पं निराकारं निर्गुणं सकलब्रह्माण्ड